Sarah, it's got to be still exciting to see your name come up, but then to be hosting, how exciting was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's until you see it, you imagine it, you think the numbers say you should be in that position, but it still feels good to see it come up and to know we get to go home and plan from our own beds all week. Certainly a really good group of teams. Brady, Sally is one of my favorite people in the business. I've known him a long time, and I'm really excited for them to get, I think their first NCAA trip in 15 years. And obviously Ole Miss had a great season, started the year almost beating USC in Paris, and really played well down the stretch. And then Grand Canyon hadn't lost since November. So had watched them when we played Arizona, because we played Arizona early, and Grand Canyon had gone in to Tucson and beaten them. So watched them then, watched them in the WAC championship game yesterday, a team that really gets it done on the defensive side of the ball. So certainly going to be a game that we're going to have to work to score.
Have you crossed paths with Molly Miller very much? Do you have a relationship with her at all?
I do not, no. I think she started coming up in the business about when I was in the pros. And so certainly I heard her name mentioned as a possibility at Baylor back when, but I also was never mentioned as a possibility at Baylor, and here I am. So, I do know she's got a really hot name when it comes to these openings that are available in the SEC right now in the Big 12. So obviously has done an amazing job building that program, winning more than 30 games, getting the NCAA tournament for the first time. I mean, I think they're going to come in, they're super veteran. I don't know if they even have someone that plays that isn't a senior, a fifth-year senior, but with nothing to lose, I mean, it's the first time in program history. So that's a very freeing feeling to just know that we've already accomplished something that this program has never done. Now let's just go have some fun. And so I think we're going to get a team that's really competitive, but also is playing with nothing to lose.
Coach, for the selection show, can you talk about the turnout y'all had tonight?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I think, having it here in our practice gym for the first time, just that idea of having them here and then getting to share in the experience and know that we're going to play here, Foster's first ever postseason games is pretty exciting, but really awesome of the community. We kind of need the same energy we had against TCU in that last regular season matchup here all weekend.
Great social media news about Buggs. How does that work in terms of kind of getting her back in the mix? I mean, you guys have played so well without her, but obviously it's great to have her back.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I mean, she's going to be on minutes restriction. There's no question. There's return to play protocol, and we certainly don't want to have her be in a situation where we set her back. But certainly it's good that we've gotten to start her back, have the whole week to continue to ramp up her load. But I think we've been in that wait and see mode with how is she doing, how is her body reacting each day with the load that she has. And then we get to increase it, from there. But don't have any plans yet on what it means for the starting lineup, what it means. Just excited to see her back out there, getting on the glass, rolling to the rim, all those very Buggs-like things.
How big is it to have so many experienced players who went through last year's run to the Sweet 16? How big is it to have that experience going into this tournament?
Yeah, I think when you look across the board, you've got across the country, knowing this is kind of the last COVID year, you have a ton of seniors and fifth-year seniors playing all across the country. So it's a really veteran NCAA tournament, and you could probably say that on the men's side as well. But I think the experience, we were just talking about Oklahoma State getting sent to Stores. We were in that same matchup, when Bella and Buggs were freshmen. And so now they're in year 3 of playing in the NCAA tournament, their first experience at home. So really continuing to grow. Obviously, we hosted that first year, ran into a buzzsaw in South Dakota. It's interesting because Ole Miss was obviously upset by them as well here. But, I think they're excited to experience the NCAA tournament here at home because other than Sarah, nobody has on this roster has that experience.
I should ask more questions.
I guess some of the things you learned without Buggs, double big, small ball, that kind of stuff. Is any of that going to stay? Do you expect to keep using some of the stuff you learned while she was out?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you have to feel out the game, and certainly I did not go into the TCU game thinking I was going to go double big. I just thought we weren't getting anything in that game from our smaller lineup. We didn't have any offensive advantage, and, we certainly had a defensive and rebounding disadvantage by not having Bella on the floor. And so I thought, in that moment, it gave us our best chance for success. And it was our best offensive quarter, when I played them together. Now, does that work against everybody? No. Like, you have to be very specific in what you're doing with that lineup, because offensively, they're not going to guard Kyla on the perimeter. They're not going to guard Nettie on the perimeter. So you have to keep both bigs engaged all the time. But I thought it was really effective for us. Thought at the defensive end, because of how TCU plays, they really didn't take advantage of us playing bigger on the perimeter, because so much of what they do is just playing through those big three. But when you get into these first early rounds, you're going to see a lot of small ball. It just is the reality. There's not that much size when you look at a lot of the mid-majors, and they've gotten it done by spreading the floor, driving, kicking. Grand Canyon is elite defensively, so they're very defensive-minded. And they're going to know, they're going to probably bring doubles. They're going to do what they have to do to contain us inside, because we have obviously, more size on the interior. So I think there are things with different matchups, if we're going to take one game at a time, but you think about, when you talk about lineups, you got to win the first one to get to the second one, so we don't really are thinking about it, but that this is a very defensive-minded group of 4 teams. All of them can really defend. Ole Miss hangs their hat on defense. Ball State is very, very good defensively in the MAC, and so it's going to be a site where you're going to have to work to score, regardless of who you play.
I guess, were there any nerves going into this about getting that 4 seed and being able to host, or do you feel pretty good about it? Yeah, there's nerves in general. I don't love surprises, just in general. Certainly it was a good surprise, but, you play all the numbers. I like numbers. I like certainty. So the good part for me is now we know. What does it look like? What's the pathway? How do we get there? A year ago, I remember being uber excited because I really thought that Virginia Tech was a team that we could beat to go to the Sweet 16. You feel more pressure at home. There's no question there's a little bit more of a target on your back when you're playing at home. And, you just don't take anybody for granted, because it's win and move on, and lose and go home. And so, knowing we have a veteran group, I think everyone's going to be in that mindset that no one's going to look past Grand Canyon. I mean, when you've won more than 30 games and you've got a 30-game win streak, you can't do that, And so I think you look at the teams that beat them, you look at the teams that did certain things well against them. But there's no question that we're going to just one practice at a time, and it's just good to know. I like planning. I like being in planning mode more than the uncertainty mode.
Just knowing that you guys have another chance to compete here. I know the seniors really wanted to end senior day on a high when you guys hosted TCU. And of course that unfortunately didn't go your way, but just to know that you have another chance to compete here, how rewarding is that?
Yeah, I think we talked about that after that game, really about getting back here to change that experience. I think every senior wants to win on senior day. It's hard to lose any game. It's very hard to lose on senior day. The emotions in a normal matchup, let alone one that we were playing for a conference championship and a chance to drop confetti and all that went into that game. So I think it'll feel good for them to be back out here and have another opportunity, and just encouraging the community to support us the way they did in that game, because this is the unique thing about college women's basketball, that we still have these first and second round at home, and it's a big deal. The advantage that you can create by having your home crowd, it can't be undervalued.
Do you have to guard yourself you kind of have to look ahead, but how do you guard against, I guess, expressing that to the players?
Yeah, we've done a good job over the last 6 weeks of one game at a time, and when you think about our undefeated February, it was one game at a time. We got through the UCLA TCU game, and we really dialed in and said, okay, we're in this stretch. We certainly had maybe the bottom half of the league to start the month, but then we finished, with the top third of the league in tight spaces. And so, it was about, okay, all we can do is prepare for the game in front of us. Let's figure out how to win that one. Let's get that done. It has to be the same way. It absolutely, you don't look ahead. If we get to Spokane, we're excited. But right now, we've got to focus on what do we have to do against Grand Canyon to have an opportunity to play a second game. And so that will be the focus. Certainly my staff will be split in terms of scouting so that we're prepared for the second game and really ready to put a game plan in. But taking nothing for granted this time of year.
Well, how does it feel to be back? Yeah.
It feels great. I was so happy to be a cheerleader. I got to travel and just see my teammates from a different perspective. That was great, but I'm so excited to be back.
Now that you are back, what are your expectations for yourself and this group as kind of enter this last chapter?
We just make it far. That's my group expectation, and just for me, just patience. But go out there. Nothing's holding you back. So, yeah.
Was it just a cleanup, or as far as the knee, was it just a cleanup? What did they have to do?
And I'm not sure if I can say so. Just know it's my right knee.
How does it feel? Do you feel like you're 100% on it?
No, it feels really good. I've been doing treatment and PT and just getting a little workout in. It feels good. Even just from the time I got out of surgery, progressed really well.
It was a fun social media announcement. There was a lot of support there. What do you say about that and just that engagement?
No, everyone loved it. I think that was the first thing a lot of people talked about. Oh, yeah, I like the media team. They did great, and they did do good. But no, it was just happy to put it out there again. Like I said, I was just excited to come back. It was a great time off. I wouldn't say time off. It was a great time to recover, but. I'm so excited to be back with my teammates. I think that's what I missed the most. And just basketball aside, I love my teammates so much. So not being able to travel with them those 2 games kind of hurt me. I still watched, but just being back with them, I'm so happy to be.
Well, you have quite a game to come back to. You're going to be at home in the NCAA tournament. What does it mean that your game back is at home?
Oh, it's awesome. Well, I've been talking to Coach Nicki about this for years. Since I've been here, we got to host. So. Just the fact that we got it done this year and we get to host, and that's just great on our part because there's nothing like being at home playing a game. I've been telling everybody, great night rest, because on the road it's hard to really dial in and sleep. You have a lot of stuff to do on the road, but being at home is great because you go up the street and get in your comfortable bed and just be in a place that's familiar.
Were there any nerves going into this about getting one of those top 4 seeds and being able to host, or were y'all pretty confident about it?
I think we were pretty confident. We did what we did this season. We did great. So we came in there really confident.
As tough as it was to be out, was it exciting to see what maybe some of the other players did when you weren't there? No,
it was so amazing. I know my team, I see what work they put in, and just having people step up too was great because, in the rebounding and the scoring, my team is so good. We have our bench that's so good. So to me, I wasn't nervous about, we're going to put, you can put anybody on our team and they go do their thing. But no, it was so amazing seeing them do what they do, being their biggest cheerleader. I don't think people heard me, but I was screaming. I think I lost my voice the first day of Big 12. I'm my voice hurts, but no, it was so amazing. They did so good. I'm so proud of them. I couldn't stop smiling. They did just great, and just seeing those people step up was awesome.
Apparently the hardest thing to remember or do is to take the ball out. I saw them forget to do that on lunch.
Yeah,
it just comes natural for you.
It does, and sometimes when I'm not supposed to take the ball out, I take it out. I'm like, I'm sorry, but no, I was talking to Kyla, and she said, I'll give you your props for playing the 4 because the 4, I say it's easy, but I also have played there since year 3. But, you have to take the ball. You have to play defense for maybe 30 seconds. Then you have to run and take the ball out. And then as you're running down the court, it's they're starting to play, so I have to get into play. So it's just constantly moving and screening and just kind of reading. So it is a lot, but that was something that was really funny that she told me. But, yeah.
with the steps that Nanny took, and especially Kansas City, is there like some maybe untapped potential, and both of y'all are going to be on the floor at the same time? Have y'all talked about that today?
A little bit, but I mean, she's gonna do great. Like, she's been doing great. She's an amazing player. So I mean, there's no drop off for her, and just me getting back in the flow of things a little bit. But I mean, it's gonna be even more. I think that now that we'll be back, there won't be any drop off. They've excelled, I feel like, in a lot more areas because they had to kind of make up for maybe what I bring to the team. But they like, it hasn't dropped in practice. They're just on it, and I know I still have to kind of get in the flow of things and kind of mess up a little bit because they worked on some stuff that I wasn't there for. But it's just gonna be amazing. Like, they did so good stepping up and really dialing in. I think that's something I have to focus even more on because they did that to a T. I feel like they really dialed in when I went out. But I mean, it's gonna be amazing. I'm so excited.
I know before Sarah has talked about just wanting to end the season of Foster on a high, and now that you guys have the chance to do that, how excited is this to cause a little madness, have some fun here at home?
It's exciting. I mean, you always want to host. Like, it's your home base. Like, you're familiar with it. Your fans. Like, and March is just an exciting time to be, and having like that home court advantage in a way is awesome. So. It definitely comes with its pluses, so that's a plus for us. But no, it's so exciting. Like, we've done good all season, so just to bring it home and have it here where a lot more people can come, it's great.
You've been through this once or twice. How do you guard against not looking ahead when it's very easy to do that?
I think our coaches do a great job of not letting us look ahead. I mean, you take it in the moment because it's huge. Like, it's March, you know. You got to battle every day. There's no overlooking. You have to battle every day. But, I mean, I think, though, we've done, especially this year, me going out and teammates having to play different positions and have to focus on that position, but also their original position. They've done a great job of that. And I think that's something that we're going to take into March. It's going to be really huge for us because we can focus in really when we really need it. Like, they have to really focus in, being undersized, having to play against people that are taller than them or whatnot. But I mean, when we focus on that, that's great for us. So.
I mean, you've been here long enough. Is it old hat that your name pops up, or is it still exciting when you see your name pop up on the bracket?
It's still exciting to see it pop up on the bracket. You know, it's a blessing to be able to be in a tournament like this.
And what about hosting? I mean, I know that was something y'all wanted. That was maybe a goal, but to be able to host here and play a couple more games here.
I think it's great to be at Foster. You know, it's a great atmosphere when we do play here. I think, you know, it's an advantage playing at home. So hopefully we can get it done.
What do you have to tell the rest of the team? You know, this is truly win and you're done. Like, is that set in to the team that kind of the next loss is the last loss?
Yeah, it's really honestly a new season, though. I think in this, anybody can be beat on any given night. And like you said, this loser go home. So it's not time to save anything. You got to give every game, no matter what the seed number is. It don't matter. You got to come out and play.
For the community being here, what does it mean to you that it's such a great turnout for this?
We appreciate it. We're going to need everybody to come out on Friday. I think that's the day we play. But we appreciate everybody coming out today.
Were there any nerves about getting that 4 seed in that host spot, or were y'all pretty confident that was going to happen?
I think we had a little nerves. You know, we can always be nervous because you don't ever know what's going to happen. But I think, you know, once we saw it, we were excited.
There was a big social media push of she's back, signifying that Buggs will play. What was that like to see that and see the response to that as well?
It's great. I think, you know, it gave people a chance to see us play without her. And we showed we could win and be a great team. I think, you know, adding her back, going to be an even better team. We had players step up, which gave them a lot of confidence when she was out. So just adding Buggs, I think that makes us an even stronger team now.
Do you feel like you were playing your best basketball toward the end there? I mean, that's kind of when you want to. I mean, y'all were playing really well toward the end of the season.
Yes, I think, you know, Nettie is starting to kill. She's peaking at the right time. I think she got more left. I think, you know, we got a lot of people that started playing some of their best basketball at the right time, just like we wanted to happen.
You obviously have plenty of NCAA tournament experience, but especially last year's kind of run in the Sweet 16. Just how big is that experience going back into this tournament?
I think we surprised a lot of people, you know, not really having a true post last year. I think, you know, it makes a huge difference. And we showed that we can play. I think this is the first time we brought back a lot of returners. So we've been in big games, especially with this team. And I think, you know, we know it's our last time playing together, so we want to make a long run.
Is it kind of like a sense of relief that, you know, you had that long trip in Kansas City, now you kind of get to stay home and kind of have the first 2 rounds there if possible?
Oh, yeah, it's great. I like being at home 'cause I like to sleep in my own bed, and I like to play in front of our fans. So, yeah, it's always great to be able to stay at home.
Have you seen any of GCU at all this season? I know there's like lots of teams to kind of keep up with, but do you know anything about them yet? Or
I think the only thing I know is they haven't lost since November. So, yeah, that's the only thing I really know right now.
I know you guys were really hoping to get another game here because you didn't want to end your career at Baylor with how things went against TCU. To know you have another chance here, what do you guys want to do with this time?
We want to take it one game at a time. We want to start with GCU and then worry about whoever's next after them. But most of all, we want that fan base that we had against TCU. We want everybody to come out and bring that support because it's going to be needed at a time like this.
Certainly not having Buggs getting hurt is not a good thing, but did you learn things about your team that maybe you weren't expecting? Like you said, Nettie playing better, maybe Wise stepping up. Like, do you think overall it can be a good thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not a good thing that she got hurt, but
That's
yeah,
right.
It's a good thing. Everybody got a chance to step up. You got a lot of players that will be able to build confidence in a situation like this that they may not have gotten while she was here. So, like you said, Wise was able to step up. Aaliyah, you saw Kyla make a huge jump. You even seen us go back to playing 2 posts, which you haven't seen in a while. So I think, it showed us different looks that we can play with. But I think it just made us stronger because everybody then had to get one more rebound. And we know it's inside of us. So just adding Buggs, it just makes it easier for us.
Do you like that 2-post lineup?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. For seeing it like the first time in a while, but it was amazing. You got 2 posts that run the floor really well. You had great rim protection.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you.